Well, I don't have any good news for you, fake Orioles fans. We were bested by the Astros in 7 games, and then the Pirates beat the Astros in 5. Man, the Pirates, I did not notice this about them until after the season when I started looking at their team. If you look here, pitcher WAR, the top 3 pitchers in the NL and 3 of the top 4 in Major League Baseball in pitcher WAR were Pirates. 2 were 2023 draft picks, 3rd and 4th round picks. These 2 guys, Dave Eatman and Mike Martis. And then this guy, Manny Pacaldi, was a international free agent signing. But I think they're all fairly young still. Yeah, 25. Oh, Martis is 29. Wow. Okay, so he was drafted out of college, and I guess Martis was drafted out of high school, or opposite. And then, I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah. So, and then Picardi is just 25. So 29, 25, 25. They're set up for at least another run or 2, I'd say, with those guys. But anyways, getting back to the series with the Astros, man, disappointing. We did go up 2-0. We won the first game 6-2. Corrales pitched really well for us, and the bullpen shut him down. We had a home run from Maldonado, 2 home runs from Sabato in that game. Gunnar Henderson had 4 hits. Garcia and Carlson each had 2 hits. We were feeling good. Next game, same thing, 6-2 win. We jumped on them early again. Maldonado had another home run. Garcia had 2 more hits and drove in 3 runs. Sabato drove in a run. Ben Schilt was just absolutely brilliant. 9 innings, 5 hits. He gave up 2 solo home runs, 5 Ks. You can see, so keep this in mind for his next start. So only 5 Ks, but only 5 hits across 9 innings. So he was getting a lot of outs on balls in play. Man, did that ever even out in the next outing, if I'm remembering correctly. And then the next game, we lost 3-2. Bottom of the 9th, they put together some hits and walked it off against actually McKinley Moore, my ace reliever, who ran into some issues like a lot of my bullpen here against the second best offense in the league. Patino was, again, not too good. Like, he didn't give up a disastrous amount of runs, but he walked 5 and 4 2/3, 5 Ks. Meek and Andrews were both good. Armendariz went yard in this game. He had a big home run that I believe tied the game at 2 at the time in the 6th inning. Sanchez and Sabato each had doubles. So then we went on to this game, which we were up 8-4 going into the bottom 8th, and then the Astros were like, actually, remember, we have a really good offense, and we're gonna do that now. Gunnar Henderson once again was less than an inning before he got hurt. This time he tore his rotator cuff. Completely absurd, the number of injuries he's had this year. And then the bullpen, I just kind of tried to piecemeal it. Sanchez, Araujo both did what they could, and then McKinley Moore again got beat up. Jake Meek got beat up, and then Klaus gave up some runs too. The 8th inning was just a disaster there. On the offensive side of things, Armendariz had a 3-run homer. That was in our 6th run second inning. We went up 6-0. Man, it was like, cool. We'll be up 3-1, feeling good. And then their offense just exploded. They did that one other time in the series. Here coming up in one of these games, they had a 9-run inning. And then we went up 3-2 in Houston. We beat them. We were down 2-0, and then we scored 4 runs in the 7th off a Weinberger had a solo home run, and then Jordan Williams pinch hit 3-run homer. Lots of fist pumps in at this computer when that happened, as well as in virtual Baltimore. Weinberger 2 for 4. Williams ended up going 2 for 2 with those 3 RBI. Corrales was great again. He's been a great addition to the team. He'll be back next year for sure. Clayton Andrews and Clace both shut it down. And so we went back to Baltimore just needing to win 1. And unfortunately, we didn't. So the game was, we each scored 1, and then it was 3-2, and then they went up 5-2, and we pulled back and made it 5-4, and then they just clobbered us in the top of the 7th, a 9-run inning. On our side of the ball, Armendariz had another home run. He had a good series. Weinberger had a home run. Garcia, also a good series, went deep. pitching side of things, you can see Schilt, 6 Ks and 4 1/3, but 9 hits. So it felt like every ball that was in play. I mean, so if you take away these, that's 7. So he got 7 outs that weren't on strikeouts. So if all those balls were in play and all the hits were too, that is 16 balls in play and 9 of them were for hits. I mean, unless some were home runs. One of them is home run. So 9 of the 15. 9 of the 15 balls in play were base hits. Just couldn't catch a break there. And then Meek did well and then ran into problems in the 7th. And then Andrews couldn't put out the fire. Feltman couldn't even get an out. And then Jack Perkins came in. He joined the roster during the series once I got rid of Bueller. So... but still felt okay. We were going into the game 7. We had Patino going, and we lost 3-1. We went up 1-0 in the bottom of the first. I think it was an RBI ground out, maybe by somebody. I think is what it was. And so, but then they answered with 1 in the 3rd and then 2 in the 6th. They put together some base hits. Patino again was not smooth. 4 2/3, 3 hits, 5 walks, only a run. Klaus. I brought him in a big spot to get out a lefty to end an inning with men on in the 5th, and then I left him out to start the 6th. I was hoping he'd get a couple outs from me. He gave up 2 straight hits, and I brought in Moore, and he allowed a single that allowed both runs to score, and then Moore shut him down from there. Andrews is good, but we did put up 2 guys on in the 9th. Maldonado reached by an error, and then Weinberger got on with a hit, and then Carlson and Garcia were both struck out by this guy who struck out 5 guys in 2 innings, which seems to be part of the course, as he struck out 16.3 guys per 9 this year, and he's over 16 all 3 years, or 3 of the 4 years he's been in the majors, the last 3. So when I saw him come in, I think that was the first game he pitched that series, first save opportunity for them. And when I saw him come in, I was like, oh boy. But then when we got 2 guys on, man, I was hoping either Carlson or Garcia could go deep to walk it off for a 4-3 win. That would have been freaking amazing. But it wasn't meant to be. So yeah, bummer. But, given all the injuries, man, it sucks that I'm 10 years into this and I haven't won one yet. I keep, I've made the playoffs, 7 of the years, I believe. 7 of the 11 maybe, or 7. Yeah, I think so. And so no World Series appearance this year either, which is disappointing. But given all those injuries I had, 2 of my top 3 pitchers, I don't even remember who else, man. Everybody was hurt at some point this year, but a lot of guys hurt with season-ending injuries. A couple starting hitters, a couple important starting pitchers. So, we'll be back again next year. Really, all you can do in any game with playoffs, whether it's baseball, hockey, whatever, is just do your best in the regular season and then hope for luck in the postseason. It's why the Premier League, with no playoffs, I think is really the best way to. It's not the most fun way, but it's definitely the best way to determine who the best team is with the largest sample. Playoffs are fun, but they can be so random. Anything can happen in any given game or 7-game series. So, oh well. Still would like to bring home a World Series with them though. So next year, let's see. We don't have too many free agents, just a bunch of bullpen arms. We'll bring some of them back. On the hitting side of things, I think you see a very similar offense. I might look for an upgraded catcher. They were both pretty good defensively, but a disaster at the plate. We'll see. I think I'll bring back Garcia. Angeletto will be back to kind of be in a utility role. He'll battle with Soto for that job. I do think that Dylan Carlson's time might be over just because, he had that one down year, and then he was pretty good again last year, but he was hurt. But he's under contract for $17.8 million for the next 2 years. This year's that'll fall off the books. And I just have guys that are ready, primarily Ben Ortega, who you can see here he's listed as third base. I was trying to give him some infield position availability. That didn't really work out. But, man, this guy's ready to play left field in the major leagues for sure. He put up 4.3 WAR in Bowie last season, and then this season put up 5.5 in Norfolk. I probably should have had him up already, but I just didn't want to start a service time clock before I had to be honest. But I thought about bringing him up this year. I probably will start him on the opening day roster and just give up that that 7th year of service time, just because I think he can start in left field for me. He's the number 9 prospect in baseball. He's my second best prospect. So I think Carlson will be gone. A couple other guys that'll be gone. Some outfielders, Josh Kramer, Mike Gerber, who've kind of been 5th outfielders off and on for me, both out of option years. On the pitching side of things, a few guys that have been around for a while are out of option years. Primarily Jack Perkins. I don't think he'll be back just because I have younger guys who are not eligible for arbitration. Oh, I did sign Perkins for 1 year. So maybe he will be back. I forgot I gave him a cheap 1-year deal early in the year. So we'll see on that on Perkins. But I think Dylan Lawson will probably be gone just because he's out of option years. Or he has 1 option year left, but he has 5 years of service time, so he can refuse minor league assignments, which he did this year one time when I tried to send him down. And he's in arbitration making like almost $4 million. Ronan Kopp is another guy who will be gone. And we'll see. I was hoping Asa Lacy would retire, but I don't think he's gonna. Mitchell Stone, another guy who's been around forever, who's a free agent and coming off a major arm injury. So I think he will also be gone. But I think the team will primarily be pretty similar. Like I'll have 4 starting pitchers back, and I have a bunch of young guys who will battle for that 5th spot. I have almost my entire bullpen are free agents, but I've already put in offers on. Let me go ahead here. So Moore and Arujo are the only 2 under contract. I've put in offers on Andrews, Meek, and I did put an offer on Feltman, even though he's probably toast. Just like a 1-year, $1 million deal to see if I can just kind of hide him as the last guy in my bullpen to get him more appearances, since he's like 3rd on the Oriole leaderboard now. And then guys like Correa and who else? Some other guys. Donovan will battle for the fifth starter spot. And then I'll add some guys to the 40-man too. I'll have a decision to make on my 2025 first-round pick, Dan Zimmerman. He needs to be out of the 40-man. I just don't know if his bat was looking elite when he was drafted, but he hasn't ripped up the minor leagues too much, and I just don't think he's a good enough catcher to make up for that bat. I'd really like a guy who's like a 70 catcher ability at catcher rather than 55 and this kind of like average bat. So I might deal him. We'll see. He might have trade value. And then Concepcion will be up at some point, but he really hasn't done much in the month. Like he's number 7 prospect in baseball. My scout thinks he's awesome, but last 2 years he's been a league average hitter in A and AA. He's still just 22, waiting for that breakout year though from him. But anyways, so that's the team. I think the biggest things to come will be, can I get rid of Carlson's salary? Can I get rid of Lacy's salary? It'll probably be something where I'll have to eat the majority of it, especially Lacy. But if I could get rid of like half of Carlson's deal and bring in, I don't even care, like some middling prospect, that would be good just to free up the money. But I'll go out and sign a couple of relievers and kind of go from there. No other major moves expected, though. I think, I've got a pretty excellent team I can bring back. But all right, talk to you guys next time.